As we said, tonight in northern Syria, fighting continues along the border with Turkey, despite yesterday's announcement of that so-called ceasefire and the president's insistence that the Kurds are happy. NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel is on the ground for us there.
We're talking to Kurdish leaders. We're talking to Kurdish people. And frankly, they are listening to President Trump. They are listening, hanging on every word, because they know their fate right now is still in the United States' hands. And they are disgusted. They think that President Trump is treating what is happening to them like some sort of joke. They have been insulted. They have had this entire conflict brushed off as some sort of two kids fighting in a sandbox. The Kurds here right now, they say they are facing ethnic cleansing.
Of the president's actions, our next guest put it this way, and we quote, Donald J. Trump trying to bluster his way through the most disastrous foreign policy debacle of his presidency seemed to spit on the graves of more than 10,000 Kurds who died fighting to defeat the so-called Islamic State. Back with us again tonight is Christopher Dickey, a veteran foreign correspondent, journalist, and author. He is the Paris-based world news editor for the Daily Beast. Christopher, tell us about the reaction to this in Europe, which, let's not forget, will be impacted by this.
It certainly will be impacted by this. Europe has always been the first objective of ISIS terrorists once they move outside the Middle East, as in fact Trump seems to know, because he said, you know, it's Europe's problem. All those escaped ISIS fighters will just go to Europe and they'll have to deal with it. So, in fact, there's not a lot of sympathy with Trump's position. There's a lot of scrambling. Here, France is trying to negotiate with Iraq to take French ISIS prisoners out of Syria and put them in Iraq. I don't know how that's going to work out. But there's generally consternation here in Europe about yet another example of what has been seen for a long time as the insanity of the American president.
I want to play for you now what Trump said on the Kurds, followed by reaction from retired four-star U.S. Army General Barry McCaffrey.
I want to thank the Kurds because they were incredibly happy with this solution. This is a solution that really, well, it saved their lives, frankly. It saved their lives. So we've done a great thing for our partner. If we didn't go this unconventional, tough love approach, you could have never gotten it done. They've been trying to do this for many, many years.
It's simply absurd. It's cruel. It makes him look stupid. It makes him look as if he completely misses the point of ethnic cleansing. It ignores the fact we abandon our allies who fought for our purpose against ISIS in the Arab areas of Syria. It's simply an appalling statement.
Chris Dickey, how do you explain over there words from our president like a tough love approach?
He's delusional. That's the kind of tough love approach applied by a husband beating his wife. Look, I think we need to turn back the clock for a minute to 2014, when ISIS seemed to be unstoppable. It had rolled into Iraq. It had rolled over a third of Syria. It was moving in on the Turkish border at the town of Kobani. The only fighters who stood in its way, who held their ground against all odds, were exactly the same Kurds that Trump just betrayed. They held out from September to January, eventually with substantial American support, but everybody else had fled. The Iraqi army had fled in Iraq. The Syrian army wasn't fighting them. In fact, Bashar al-Assad had released a lot of them from prison in the first place. All of that happened, and only the Kurds held out. If they had not held out in Kobani, the entire course of that war would have gone in favor of ISIS. And what's happening now? Trump is saying to the Kurds, you give up Kobani because the Turks want it now.
And, Chris, when you were here in New York, no more than 3 weeks ago, our conversation was about the general crumbling of alliances that you hear on a first-wave basis over there. Is this part of that plot line?
Of course it is. This is a question of whether you can trust the United States. You go, you fight side by side with American troops, with support from American troops, but putting your own life on the line, and then the American president betrays you because he has had an embarrassing conversation with the president of Turkey. We have absolutely no standing. I was in Abu Dhabi last weekend, and I was talking to leading people from all over the Arab world. All of them feel that it's impossible now to trust the United States, to have confidence in the United States. And the proof in that pudding is that Vladimir Putin was just welcomed like a conquering hero in Abu Dhabi this week.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.